Hello, I'm Antonio Mora. This is the newsandnews.com Day in Brief. Today's top stories in 4 minutes. It's Wednesday, October 31st at about 7 p.m. Clearly, President Trump didn't bother to consult with his party's congressional leadership before announcing he was planning to issue an executive order that would ban birthright citizenship for the U.S.-born children of people who were in the U.S. illegally. Speaker of the House Paul Ryan immediately dismissed the idea out of hand as unconstitutional. Today, Trump lashed out at Ryan, tweeting, "Paul Ryan should be focusing on holding the majority rather than giving his opinions on birthright citizenship, something he knows nothing about." I'd venture that it's Trump who is seriously misinterpreting the 14th Amendment. He just cares about changing the subject and focusing on an issue that could help Republicans in the midterms. It's a valid concern that should be addressed. Is it a good idea to allow the children of undocumented immigrants to automatically obtain American citizenship? Should the children of women who come to the U.S. as tourists and give birth have the right to U.S. citizenship? But the president cannot decide it by himself. There is no way the Supreme Court would uphold that. It's even questionable whether congressional action would be constitutional without amending the Constitution as provided by its Article 5. Given what polls have shown in the past, I suspect a majority of Americans would support the change. But if you really care about the issue, fix it the right way. Also today, the accused synagogue shooter was indicted on 44 counts. Federal prosecutors will seek the death penalty. And after paying tribute to the victims on Tuesday in Pittsburgh, Trump returned to attacking the media on Wednesday, tweeting the fake news made it seem the Trump family was treated poorly and focused its coverage on a small protest. On Tuesday, we told you about how the Trump administration had decided to send 6 times more troops to the Mexican border than originally announced. Well, today, Trump said he could deploy up to 15,000 troops to purportedly deal with the caravan of migrants that is still weeks away. That's almost 19 times as many as first announced. Clearly, another attempt at towing a tough line on immigration for the midterms, as he headed to Florida tonight for the first of 11 rallies between now and Election Day. One more Trump story. White House counsel Don McGahn ended his roller coaster tenure with one last encounter with Trump, who reportedly blamed him in the meeting for Robert Mueller's appointment as special counsel. McGahn has cooperated extensively with Mueller, something that does not thrill the president. Trump did reportedly give him high marks for other work. McGahn was in charge of shepherding the confirmations to the Supreme Court of Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh. While Istanbul's chief prosecutor announced Wednesday that journalist Jamal Khashoggi was strangled shortly after he entered the Saudi consulate there, another case involving a Saudi diplomatic facility, this time the embassy in Washington, has become a big mystery. 2 Saudi sisters, young women whose bodies were found last week bound together on the banks of the Hudson River, had apparently applied for asylum in the U.S. The Saudi embassy reportedly called their mother to let her know they'd done that. The bodies showed no sign of trauma, and the cause of death has yet to be revealed. The Saudi consulate in New York says it has appointed a lawyer to follow the case closely. And another good day on Wall Street lessened the pain of what was a terrible month for stocks. The Dow and S&P 500 were up about 1%, while the Nasdaq was up 2%. Still, tech stocks suffered their worst month since the recession. In our alternate universe segment, the great divide between conservative and liberal media, these were the first words out of a CNN news anchor's mouth. And mind you, he's supposedly a news anchor, not an opinion host. He started a show by saying, "A week to go until the midterms. We know the president's message, and fear is a big part of it. A big part of that closing argument. He's ordered thousands of troops to the U.S. border with Mexico to stop what he calls an invasion of migrants 900 miles away. He has also claimed that he can defy the U.S. Constitution and end birthright citizenship." Even if you agree with everything he said, you have to understand that a whole bunch of opinions were expressed in a very short period of time. The objectivity aspired to by most journalists over the past half century has disappeared. Walter Cronkite and Peter Dennis would never have said anything like that during one of their newscasts. It is outrageous for Trump to call the media the enemy of the people. But when supposedly objective news anchors report in that way, they clearly are enemies of Trump and give him plenty of ammunition to attack the media. And that works for him with its base. It's a vicious circle. We have all those stories and much more updated around the clock 7 days a week on newsandnews.com, where you will find all you need to know in one place. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the right of your screen just below this video, and please follow us on Facebook at Real News and News, and me on Twitter at AMoraTV. I'll see you again tomorrow.